So it's the beer video part two. You're not going to see part one because it sucked. Yeah, we love audio problems, and I just decided not to edit and be lazy. So we're just doing it again. Helen, it's bright and nice where you are. So let's just re-say the thing we said that nobody saw.
Oh yeah. Well, it was high of 68 today, which is very cool and normal for early March in Minnesota.
Climate's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I know people talk about El Nino, but I'm still like, one snowstorm in Minnesota.
Yeah.
There's people theorizing we may be punished for this by having additional snow in April and May. I'm hoping that's not true, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
I just feel like snow is finished here. It snowed like three times this year. We got like a couple weekends ago, we got like 6 inches like Friday night into Saturday afternoon, and by Monday it was gone. Like gone. It was so bizarre. And it wasn't like it's not like the temperatures went up, dramatically. Like they were still pretty much hovering around freezing, and it's like the snow was just gone. Bizarre. Climate's fine.
Yeah,
Everything's great.
yeah. We had one major snowstorm this year.
Yeah.
Um, and I wore my winter boots one week,
Yeah.
which is but anyway, let's stop talking about terrible things we can't change.
Yeah.
Uh,
And let's start talking about terrible things we can change. I don't know what that is.
this time I promise not to get distracted by cuddling my cat.
That's okay. There's the cats are always have a part of the beer video. They should always be here. All cats are welcome.
Sure, of course, I just will not get so into cuddling Sauron that I stop responding to your questions.
It's fine. Um, so you went first last week. I do have
Yep.
a sticky note indicating that. So I'm gonna go first this week. I have a weird one.
Ooh,
Kind of going back to the fruited sour territory. And so this is called Kapow Candy. It's a pineapple, passion fruit, guava fruited sour made by Grist House here in Pittsburgh. 7% alcohol by volume. Simple cover, a little bit of a. It's a good thing there wasn't a third letter that started with a K. Um, or a third word that started with a K. I was looking at it like, ooh, we
had a
can't
pineapple for this week, and I'm glad I didn't because, well,
pineapple week. I'm drinking out of my Descendants of Crom glass that was sponsored by Full Pint Brewery that no longer exists, which is really sad because they made a um a rye stout that was my favorite one. It was called Rye Rebellion. It was like my favorite rye stout I've ever had. It was so good. And they made a really great triple IPA also that was one of my favorites. And you know, you know, you know how local breweries go. So
yeah, I think I may have mentioned that uh, their state filed for bankruptcy, but it looks like they're doing okay after they like put out the news about people really came out to support them, which was nice to see. But let's see, Dangerous Man closed their tap room. They're still producing beer, but their tap room's gone, which is a bummer. I really liked it. East Lake closed down. I don't know if I ever featured. Oh no,
whoa. East Lake? What happened with them?
it was just like they just never really recovered from COVID, basically. And like they were kind of in the hot spot of where like a lot of kind of the unrest happened in 2020.
Yeah.
And like, that they kind of took some hits from that. And like they kind of recovered for a while, but they never really got back to where they were. And they were in kind of like a high rent location, I guess.
Oh
And I
man.
think like they maybe could have pushed through, but it was also like they decided it was time to give it a rest, which is a shame. I thought like a lot of their
Yeah.
beer was good. um
We got their stuff here. That's why I've had some of their stuff. I like everything I've had from them. I really enjoyed.
really, it's like I didn't know they got distributed that far.
Yeah. Yeah, I was able to find it here. Yeah.
Yeah, they had some award-winning sours too, some really good sours. They did the Sathagua Imperial Stout, which I featured on here
Mm.
last year, I remember. And that was one of my favorite stouts I've ever had. Well, RIP East Lake. Support your local breweries that you like. Like it's a crowded market, and like
Yeah.
uh, kind of food or beverage service usually is operating probably a thinner margin than you think.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we just lost. I think I mentioned this a couple weeks ago. We just lost Necromancer, which is a local brewery, and sucks for a lot of reasons. A, because their beer was good, and they had a lot. They had a really interesting aesthetic. They had a nice little spot that was out in the North Hills, and a very all-inclusive establishment as well. So that's always important, to have that. So that's sad. But again, Grist House, the beer I'm having this week, sort of the opposite. They're doing really well. They're in Millvale, and they're opening a second location, and I can't remember where it's at. But so they're doing well, and so that's good. So hey, local brewery. This is their again. What is this again? I know it's a sour. Pineapple, passion fruit, guava. So let's. Oh, 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 that is thick as fuck. That is one thick sour. Um, this is fantastic. Um, it's funny because I didn't really drink sours much until we started doing the beer video, and so I've been drinking them a little bit more, at least on here. Man, have I turned the corner on these things. This is not overly sour either. I mean, like if you're gonna have, pineapple juice, I guess, yeah, it's a little sour. That's about as sour as it gets with this. Like it does definitely have a pineapple base, so there is that sourness there from that. Um, but the passion fruit and the guava is 100% coming through in this. Tremendous aftertaste. My mouth is a fruit party right now, and I'm very happy about it. Let me go again. God damn it. Yeah, the fruit just the fruit flavors explode in this thing. It's so fucking good. Um, again, if you're somebody that's a little adverse to a sour, this isn't that sour. I mean, again, like if you like pineapple juice, that's about the sour level. So it's not like a pucker sour. Um, yeah, you can taste every element of this thing. It's refreshing. I love the thickness. It's really it really drinks like a thick juice. Um, and again, I don't think I showed the color, but that's what it looks like. Yeah, this is fantastic. This again, remember my sour consumption is very limited, but this might be the best sour I've ever had. It's that fucking good. So I'm very excited. This is with warmer weather coming, as we've noted, this is going to be great for spring and early summer drinking. Yeah. Grist House once again. I've never had a bad Grist House beer either. So again, great local brewery and yeah, Kapow candy is pretty fucking good.
cool. Sounds like it would be extremely not my thing, to be honest, but I can appreciate a style thing well, even if I would not like it.
I mean, I love pineapple, so I kind of figured I was predisposed to like this just because I really love pineapple, but
Eastlake, RIP, did a really good pineapple sour that was based on I'm gonna say this wrong, tapache, which is like a fermented pineapple drink.
mhm.
So, it was pineapple tasting, but it wasn't overwhelmingly sweet, which is the problem I have with a lot of pineapple sours.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's not super sweet either. I mean, it is just because you have those fruit flavors, but it's not, again, it's not like saccharine. I mean, it's the right amount of sweetness and the right amount of sour. I mean, it's really a nice balance. That again, like if you're new to sours or if you're kind of iffy about trying them, I think this is a good intro to them, says me.
Ooh, nice. Yeah, maybe I'll pick up that pineapple sour next week. I imagine it'll still be there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, well, I have got, I guess, the opposite of that. Um, I would say do shirt check, but I'm just wearing my Sisters of Mercy shirt that I think I've previously worn in the beer videos, so
Yeah.
not much else to say about that.
I'm wearing
But
my castrator shirt. I'll stand up so you can see the whole thing. It's just I think it's the cover of their album. But
yeah,
castrator, I hate saying this because it drives me insane. I get so many emails from like record labels and stuff like that because of my website. Every time I get an email that says female fronted death metal, I'm just like, fuck off. It's like it's just a death metal band. Like,
I
but
yeah.
everybody in Cash, it's an all-female death metal band called Castrator. Draw your own conclusions. And it makes all the death metal assholes mad that four women
Yeah,
found a band called Castrator. So fuck you.
it it was really funny to me how many people I saw, well, like just in terms of like who's local to me. Um, like when that band first came out, like the same guys that I would see like defending like kind of the more misogynist era of Cannibal Corpse or whatever, is like, oh, it's just a song. Like, yeah, okay, to be fair, like I don't think Chris Barnes has like dead hookers buried under his porch or whatever, but like, you can understand like why an all guy band fixating on topics like that would be like
Yeah.
kind of a person to listen to.
Mhm.
Anyway, like those guys would be like, I don't know, like does it mean like does this mean they hate men? Like, man, like
If they're
apply
worth hating.
consistently, please, like make it make sense, as the kids say. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
I was glad they came out with an album relatively recently, right? In the past few
Yeah.
years.
I think it was 2 years, not last year, the year before. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
I have it here somewhere.
I
Uh,
thought they were going to cover, and then I found out they weren't, and I was very happy. Anyway,
They also
here.
have a lot of there's a heavy Pittsburgh connection as well. There's members of Vicious Blade and Dercada that play in that band. So yeah,
Cicada is very good as
love them.
well. Happy to see there. I think again.
Yeah.
Um, so I have got a stout. I've got Peace Offering by Pryes Brewing. It is a coffee stout made with Peace Coffee. That is a local coffee roaster. I used to deal with them back a million years ago when I managed a cafe, and it's really good coffee and pretty reasonably priced for what it is. Pryes Brewing um, has a really nice little brew pub area down by the Mississippi River. It's really nice to visit. If you ever visit here, we should go. They do like a few pretty solid beers. Um, they actually did a pineapple sour. I remember, not really my thing, but they do a raspberry one that's very good.
Yeah.
And a couple IPAs which are decent, and a pale ale that I felt nothing about really, but
Yeah.
okay, let's pour this.
I found the
And
Cat Trader record, by the way. It's called Defiled in Oblivion. There it is. So yeah, there's the cover and the shirt. Look at that. Oh my God. We're seeing two things at once. Wow.
hey, hey, okay. That smells like coffee. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
They have a little taste map on the back, which I think is kind of cool.
Oh, that is cool. I like that. It's
So,
because
oh no,
you were just for the folks that don't see Helen in my Instagram chat, you were nervous about drinking a coffee beer because you need to be up early and you didn't want it to keep you up. I, at least in my experience, I am super sensitive to caffeine. At least coffee. Like I can drink a can of Coke and be okay, but I can't really drink coffee. And all the coffee-based beers I've had, it's more been a taste thing and not a like I don't feel wired afterward.
cool. I figured I was just being paranoid.
Yeah, everybody's different though.
Hmm, that's really nice. It's a fairly low alcohol, well, not low alcohol stout, but it's like 5.8%.
Yeah.
And it's got like, a decent body on it, which is pleasant. You sometimes with like anything that's not an imperial stout, like they just feel a little too watery. This is a
Yeah,
nice,
yeah.
obviously just tastes like coffee. It's got like kind of a bitterness to it, but not in like kind of a gross coffee sat too long way, in just kind of a pleasant way that kind of counteracts the sweetness of the malt. Yeah, this reminds me actually of a little beer cocktail at this cafe I used to go to here, where they would mix like black ale and cold press.
Huh.
This like that. So yeah, not really much else to say about it. This is a pretty solid offering. I really put off trying this for a long time just because like um I used to I used to drink a lot of Pryes beer and then stopped because like one time I had like one raspberry sour too many and I woke up the next day with wicked heartburn, which is
Uh,
totally fault, not theirs, but and it's a petty reason. But yeah, I just like passed them over and now I feel like a fool. This is quite good. I will probably pick up more of this. Hopefully they don't stop making it in the summer.
oh yeah. If it's yeah. Yeah, and that's I'm glad you pointed that out that the body of the beer is good for that ABV because I notice the same thing. Like the stouts that have like a lower ABV, they're so watery. And so they're not pleasant. You know, it's like you drink them and it's like, I don't know. They might taste okay, but like really, we make jokes about mouthfeel, but it does mean something.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with stouts. Like I like a stout that you can kind of chew on.
Hmm.
Kind of a stout that manages to have like a pleasant texture despite being pretty low ABV is Guinness. At least in the decenter establishments that like actually clean their tap lines.
Yeah.
I have had Guinness at a dive bar and I really don't recommend that
Yeah.
because it tastes like, kind of watery Guinness afterthought, but like at an establishment that like either is trying to seem Irish or at least kind of gives a shit enough to like serve decent beer, like
Yeah.
Guinness is pretty amazing. And it's like 4% ABV and it
Yeah. Yeah.
still tastes like drinking a loaf of bread. Um, I know there are better Irish stouts, don't yell at me, but times.
I mean, look, that might be the case, but like everybody who drinks beer, anybody who drinks beer should at least drink a Guinness one time just to experience it. I mean,
A lot of Guinness or a fair amount of Guinness when I was in Norway, just because like they price alcohol by ABV.
oh,
So the more affordable beers, and it was
yeah.
like, it also gets you reasonably full, so you can't like, getting fucked up on those is kind of hard.
It is tough. Yeah. Yeah. You got to drink a lot of them. And as you said, that's physically a tough challenge.
Oh, one of my favorite jokes I saw on I think it was on Twitter. I don't know. But it was like someone was like, we should do a equivalent of Hot Ones where I show my rural Irish grandfather the totals on receipts for pints of Guinness I've bought in the touristy part of central Dublin.
Oh man. Sorry, I'm gonna be yawning on you. So like everybody's always told me, because I've never been to Ireland, that it tastes completely different there than it does like whenever you get it here. Like it's a completely different drink. And
My
so
uncle is from Ireland, actually. Well, he married into my family.
yeah.
He's delightful, and every stereotype you've ever had about Irish people is true about him. I mean, the good ones.
Yeah.
Clear. I'll have to ask him. Matt and I were thinking about visiting Ireland, but apparently, like, unlike the rest of Europe, their train system's not great. So, hmm.
Yeah. Let them get their shit together first.
Oh God, what Irish reunification is supposed to happen in 2024, according to Star Trek. So we'll see how they do that.
Yeah.
I will say Irish politicians have really stepped up as far as Gaza goes. Man, I wonder why that is.
Yeah. Well, at least somebody is.
Yeah, yeah, like it's almost like they also have some kind of experience with occupation by a hostile
Yeah.
force.
What could, yeah. Yeah. What might they know? Yeah.
What's a bloody Sunday?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's, look, it's not like the US wasn't occupied before. I mean, it was a different circumstance, but we forget. And we get a little too full of I shouldn't say we, I should say from government standpoint. I think a lot of people, a lot of general, just regular people in America don't fucking support this bullshit. It's more the politicians.
Oh, the tide of popular opinions really turned, which is nice. Like, now I have like a lot of my jujitsu guys who I like don't necessarily agree with about other stuff are like posting stories about like this is what's happening in Gaza is horrific and here's how you can donate to humanitarian aid. And it's like, if you've lost like the fucking Joe Rogan libertarians, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
and it felt that like, the government, like, yeah, you can watch everything that's happening like on your phone now, and you
Yeah.
would think that, and like Israel, that is kind of very dependent on positive PR, would like spin this, and it's just like your soldiers are just doing war crimes on TikTok, like
Yeah. Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah. Well,
And
you know,
it's nuts too that like apparently good old Joe Brandon is like hitching like his wagon to this horse, which
yeah.
is like just broadly incredibly unpopular, apart from like the segment of like evangelical freaks that want Israel to like start a nuclear war and usher on the rapture, and like just the people who just want to see Palestinians turn to hamburger.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's disgusting. And the sad thing about it is it's going to probably usher in a uh I guess a fascist regime in this country probably in November because of it, because it's going to very well, if something costs him this election, this is going to be a major reason why. Uh,
Yeah, like I heard that like people are trying to downplay the number of people that voted uncommitted in the Democratic primary in Michigan.
yeah. No, that's
Uh
a big deal.
like 10 times the number of people that like won the state of Michigan for Joe Biden. So it's like,
Yeah.
and I don't think it's constructive to scold people about like, being hesitant to vote for Biden, because it's
No.
like he hasn't been giving them reasons to be hesitant. Like if you should be scolding anyone, it's good old Dark Brandon. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
the fuck is he just like aiming the bazooka at his own foot in this manner? Like, you know, fucking call for a ceasefire. Like, who's making you do this?
Yeah.
And also, I would like to tell everyone who like accused my rep Ilhan Omar of being anti-Semitic because she said AIPAC's a strong lobby. You all can go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
Like,
People,
you
yeah,
know,
I know. I think there's a lot that goes into that where I think there's some people that miss the nuance of that, of what she's saying. But there's also people that just straight up hate her because she's brown, and so I'm not uncovering some great mystery of the world by saying that, but that's why it's so hard to even take a lot of that criticism seriously. 'Cause it's like, where is it even coming from? Like, what is your standpoint as to why you're criticizing her over this? Because I feel like in so many of those instances, it has nothing to do with what they actually feel about the situation. I feel like it's the person saying it. And they just, you know,
100%. People just hate her. I thought it's interesting, boy, how people focus on her out of the squad because like she's the most visibly Muslim. Weird.
yep.
Like I haven't seen people saying this kind of shit about Rashida Tlaib until recently because like she doesn't wear hijab or anything. Oh, by the way, oh fucking John Fetterman, boy, we were
Oh,
wrong on one.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I look, I put him in the same category now as Joe Biden, where it's like I'm probably gonna have to vote for him because it's like deciding between this and the worst possible fucking thing in the world. So I'm gonna vote just because I'm trying to prevent something awful from happening. But shit, I really hope he gets primaried and I really hope that he doesn't win. But
Yep. Obviously it wasn't my rep, but I was like, he fucking ran against Connor Lamb as like being, outspoken progressive,
yeah.
as opposed to like Connor Lamb being like a mushy dem machine centrist. Like,
No, which he 100% is. Yeah. He was, I mean, I think people had a lot of hope for him because he was young and everything, but it's like that he's the absolute thing that the party doesn't need. Like we don't need more of these people.
yeah, and Fetterman, it's like, he was like stumping for Bernie and shit, and
Mhm.
I don't expect any like any American politician to be perfect. They like all kind of do some shady shit,
Yeah.
but like in terms of what's available to us, he seemed like one of the better options.
Yeah.
And now it's like, what? I was never progressive, and it was like, well, you sure fucking were when you were asking people for money.
Yeah. It's funny. I had a conversation with a friend of mine a couple weeks ago. We went out and got beers, funny enough. And this person knows more about Fetterman just because they have worked in like community organizing and things like that. And he was not surprised because it was like, this is actually kind of what Fetterman's like there's a public persona that he put out there, but if you know the real guy and kind of like the way he operates, this isn't a surprise. So I was like, oh, okay, well, then I guess we're seeing the real thing. uh
No,
because
good
I
job.
always worried that it was like, I hate saying this, but I was always worried that like, is it the stroke, like, because that that can alter your personality, that can alter your decision making. um but yeah, no, apparently this is just, we're now seeing the real thing. So, yay. Another politician you can't trust.
Boy,
God.
I'm getting the mood lighting now that the sun's
I
going
was just
down.
gonna say, it's getting a little dark on your end. And now it looks like I'm in the sun.
There's neighbor dog. I love neighbor dogs. We've got like one really tough one that always says hello, but only from his balcony. When he's in his yard, he's perfectly chill.
Yeah.
Then I think I've told you about like we have a neighbor that has like like a French bulldog, and French bulldogs are like the dog Habsburgs, where it's like they're very sweet and cute, but like the inbreeding has made them very dumb. So
Sorry, guys.
gotta have two helper mutts.
Yeah. I
So
think
like
Brody needs a helper mutt.
yeah, like dog Habsburg will be leading the charge, like running up to the fence and barking whenever Matt and I walk by, and the helper mutts are like, remember them? They live next door. They've lived next door for almost 2 years.
Yeah, they're friends. We don't need to yell at them. Well, this turned into a depressing episode review by the end. Oh well. Uh
My
I am getting ready to go after this. When we get off of this, I'm going to go watch AEW as a pay-per-view tonight. And it is the pro wrestler Sting, not the guy from the police. It's his final match. He's 65 years old and he's still pretty fucking good. So it's his last match tonight, and it's a big deal. He's God, he's been wrestling since I was a kid. So a little bittersweet to watch his final match and watch the show. And so yeah, I'm gonna go have a burrito as
hell
well.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. All right, everybody. Hey, it's been the beer video. Go have a burrito.
go have a burrito.
We'll see what's stopping you. Nothing's stopping you. The only thing stopping you is you.
That's right.
All right. Well, let us know how your burrito was. We'll see you next week.